back to Dreamforce. Mark Benioff interviewed Travis Kalanick earlier today as part of the event. And over the last year, Uber has added a couple dozen scientists from Carnegie Mellon University to work on self-driving cars. Take a listen to what Kalanick, the CEO of Uber, had to say about a driverless future.
There's just an insane amount of public good that comes out of it, this kind of new technology, and that's why so many companies are working on this kind of thing. Where Uber is, you could see, well, this is a little bit disruptive to our model because, well, we have a two-sided marketplace and we sort of do pretty well as we are today. But as a technology company, you also have to say, well, am I going to be part of the future or am I going to resist it? And we don't want to be like the taxi guys that came before us, right? We're a tech company. We embrace the future. And then what you're left with is what I call optimistic leadership, which is, okay, well, there's going to be some interesting things that happen when driverless becomes a thing, when all these companies start rolling out driverless cars and this kind of thing. Is Uber in a place where we can be optimistic leaders in helping through that transition? Mm-hmm. It's not going to happen. This is not going to happen all at once, and it's not going to happen at scale. It's not going to happen anytime soon, right? But I don't know, 10, 15 years out, whatever the number is, there's going to need to be leadership in cities. There's going to need to be leadership with the companies that make this kind of technology to help with that transition. I think it's an interesting challenge, but also an interesting opportunity to lead through it.
Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff with Uber's Travis Kalanick at Dreamforce. He's back with me now, James McQuivey of Forrester Research. So what do you make of Travis's comments? It's easy to be seduced by this idea that we should embrace rather than resist the future, but driverless cars are really far off.
Actually, they're going to be here faster than I think he's even saying
really?
They will be here. Yes, because people will accept them faster, probably than governments will. So there are some barriers in the way. But the challenge that he's facing is he's barely getting his first business off the ground, and he already realizes he's ready for disruption next time around, and he's trying to say publicly, we're not going to let that happen to us. The real question is, will investors let him be the guy, the captain that steers that ship into that next wave? I'm not sure they will.
What? Wait, clarify.
Well, he seems in over his head on the
You don't think he'll remain
CEO
CEO of Uber?
Not long enough to see driverless cars happen. Not if investors have their way.
Why?
Because he hasn't shown that he knows how to manage all of the complexity of government, which is going to be very important when you get into driverless cars. And at the same time, the end user, certainly, Uber users get the best experience ever. But not even the drivers are still as happy today as they were a year ago. Managing all of those needs in this game is hard enough. Take it to the driverless car level, and it multiplies. Is
he getting ahead of himself? Should he even be thinking about driverless cars?
Probably a little bit ahead of himself, but in the back room, the investors that have been coming on have been saying, we are putting this much money in you because you are going to be huge. This is going to be Uber, the literal meaning of the word Uber. So I know he's getting that message from behind. Maybe it's not the right message to be telling out to the world right now when there are still skeptical governments and drivers out there.
Do you think Travis will take him through the IPO?
I do think so. At this point, it's a little too late because he is already the figurehead. Now, he needs to learn how to change what kind of figurehead he represents.
If anything, your opinion is quite controversial. And speaking with investors, it seems to me that Travis has a huge amount of support.
Absolutely,
I don't know about, for decades.
Absolutely does for now. But when he's talking about 10, 15 years from now, that would be very surprising. If he doesn't learn how to manage all of these complex issues with so many different constituencies, 5 years from now, there will already be talk about how do we get to the next level.
All right. Well, if that happens, you said it here first, and you will get all the credit.